Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Just waiting for the video to pop up on my there we go. Put that on mute. Okay. These are signs you're an atheist. Know it. Now, sign number 1. The beliefs you were raised up with. Now, this is not a massive sign that you're an atheist. This could just be that your views on certain things that you believed, meaning if you were raised Christian or Protestant like I was, they had like a very like traditional conservative way of thinking, which I admit I had, because I was the type of religion I was raised in, or raised with, when I went to church. When you start really thinking about the Bible verse, homosexuality is a sin, who get their menstrual cycles every month are people you can't breed with, or shit like that, right? First of all, number 1, anti-science, regardless of race, religion, background, size. Women are going to have their periods every month. I forget what condition is that delays the menstrual cycle. I forget exactly what it's called. I'm not a gynecologist, but there's a condition like that, and it's very rare. Women have their periods every month. So if we went with the Protestant version of the Bible, meaning there would be no children, right? So, which is obviously, number 1, a stupid thing to even say about their menstrual cycles, that you can't breed with them. That's just stupid, right? And the other thing is, sexuality is a sin and blah, blah, blah. And you could still be a believer and say, well, I'm a gay Christian, or I'm a bisexual Christian, or I'm a lesbian Christian, or I'm a transgender Christian, blah, blah, blah. I don't believe this. Fine. I believe in God. Fine. But that's doubting your views, doubting your beliefs. That's like a serious change. Another a great example of this is, for a lot of Christians, I know this was a thing for me, Sunday services. In East Stroudsburg, that was a big thing for me. Every Christmas, I would go to the Christmas Eve service. I'd go to like the one like at 7 at night, because it was like, fuck the midnight service, right? But the thing is, though, when you go to church, because that's where your congregation is, that's where your belief is, right? That's where you get your sermons. You go there, and you start thinking, this doesn't make any sense. Wait a minute. This completely goes against the theory of evolution. Wait, hold on a sec. Significant sign that you're on the road to atheism, or at least flirting with the idea of atheism. Sign number 2. Hard to relate to a lot of religious things. And I don't say all, because there are some religious things that even atheists, and I will admit, can still connect with. I'm very musically inclined. No, I don't believe, I still thoroughly enjoy gospel music. Even though I don't believe in the God humanity in gospel music. I really do. It is a comforting music to listen to, beautiful classical music. It's just something in gospel music that keeps me listening to it, even though I don't believe in the man in the sky. I still connect with gospel music, but do I connect with the Bible? No. The church? No. Do I connect with extremely religious people? Because I was an extremely religious person, believe it or not, at one time. My family thought I was going to go into the priesthood. That's how religious I was. Do I connect with all that stuff? No. In fact, I actually resent extreme religious beliefs. Even though I support for other people, I resent it. I don't go to church anymore. I tried Unitarian Universalism. I mean, I'm still that by label technically, but I don't go anymore because I just don't have the motivation to be even in a church-like setting. And church in general. I just don't connect with it. And the Bible or any religious text. Now, granted, I do have, I think, 3 copies of the Bible. But the reason why I have 3 copies of the Bible, because one's the Thomas Jefferson Bible, a present from my Aunt Nancy to me, which I do cherish. I really do. And also, you don't have to believe in Jesus, or Jesus was the Son of God. Doesn't matter if you believe or not believe, right? His morals, right, are far more better than the people that say they believe in him. Because, you know, you read everything Jesus says on Sermon on the Mount. You don't have to believe in God, but holy shit. You can agree with what he says on the Sermon on the Mount, you know, helping the poor, giving the poor the material goods that you have left over, helping others when they're down, not turning away against us because they're different from you. It's stuff like that I agree with. And while I agree with the morals of Jesus of Nazareth, right? The Bible. Because the rest of the Bible is stupid to me. It really does. Survive in the stomach of a whale for 3 days straight. Let's not forget, whales have a different amino acid system than humans do. The amino acids in this Coke pair well with human amino systems, right? But give this to a fucking whale, they will die. There's a certain this is toxic to whales. This show is legitimately toxic to whales. So keep that in mind. Whales have a different amino acid system, meaning Jonah would have been fucking dead. He would have been whale food. He would have been a fucking skeleton. So he would not have survived in a whale for 3 fucking days unless he held on to the blowhole area. And in that case, I highly doubt that. But the thing is, but see, that's the thing. Oh yeah, and the burning bush, the talking snake, nightmare fuel if you're terrified of snakes like I am. But other than that, though, it's nonsense. The Bible's nonsense. The Quran's nonsense. And now, like I said, once you, and that's the other thing, you start losing connections, religious things that you once held dear. Now, you could be a religious person, not go to church, which there's a lot of religious people who identify as, well, I was Catholic, but I don't identify as anything, but I believe in God. Or you have people that are like, yeah, I'm Jewish, but I don't go to synagogue anymore. Or you have Muslims who say, "Yeah, I'm Muslim, but I don't go to the mosque anymore." You know, you have religious people who don't believe, who still believe in the man in the sky, right? Believe in organized religion. They think it's just a corruption scam. Just people we should have on the atheist team. They believe themselves as atheists, but them on our team so that when some extremely religious person says, "Oh, it isn't about politics or it isn't about controlling people, blah, blah, blah," we'll have the religious people who don't go organized churches saying, no, actually, the atheists are right. It is about power. And a lot of religious people that still believe in God, that don't go to church, have some personal story why they don't go. Maybe they were beat by nuns for doubting the prayer of the day, or maybe they were excommunicated or being threatened of excommunicated because they didn't wear a hijab, or maybe they stopped going because of sexist belief values or racist belief values or whatever dangerous belief values within that organized religious church. The thing is, though, you have multiple religious people who agree with atheists that, yeah, organized religion is kind of toxic. If you could believe it, we believe in what we want, blah, 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 right? But we go it our own way. We don't believe in what they tell us to believe. We believe our own way. So we need to get those religious people on our team, just for the sake of that argument alone. That's another side. Another sign that you're an atheist and don't even know it, or at least flirting with the idea of atheism, is you stop praying. Hear me out. Hear me out. There's a difference between meditation and prayer. Meditation is simply umming and oohing or whatever sound effect you want to make while you're contemplating on your own individual thoughts and ideas and how you can improve yourself. That's meditation. Prayer, on the other hand, is almost mandatory check-ins with the man in the sky. Now, for some people, prayer is the most powerful thing in the world, and I want to take that away from them. And I beg you, if you are a new atheist, don't tell someone who is religious that still goes to church or doesn't go to church that prayer is stupid, because for some people it is the most powerful thing that they have in their lives. Everything that they have in their lives besides their family and blah, 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 right? So I wouldn't say take prayer away from them. Don't. Please, don't do that. I beg you, don't do that. But the thing is, though, you don't pray anymore. There's all forms of prayer. Muslims have their form of prayer. Jewish people have their form of prayer. Christians have their own form of prayer. Almost every major religion has their own form of prayer. But if you stop praying, that's really a crucial sign you really don't believe anymore. This is where you flirted with the idea of atheism. Now you're really traveling down the road, because normally you don't have to be a praying man or woman, right? But yet you still pray. But when you stop doing that I think that's a clear indication that you're really on the road to non-belief. I would say the most crucial sign that you're an atheist is, I wouldn't say you no longer believe, because there are some people who say they no longer believe and go back to believing. Look at Kirk Cameron, for example. A lot of so-called atheists, and I will take Howard Stern's example here. He said a lot of so-called atheists are actually religious believers, but they pretend not to believe, but then they go back to religion after they feel that their trend of atheism, or they lose their atheist friends, blah, 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 and they go back to religion. Well, He's right about that. But a massive sign that you don't believe in God anymore is you don't not only believe, but the possibility of there being a God makes no sense and will never make any sense. Now, here's the thing. If you're an agnostic atheist like I am, I mean, I'm an atheist overall, but that agnosticism is still there. However, that agnosticism that's still there, meaning meaning years down the road, age 78, I'm near my deathbed, I might automatically start believing in God again, right? Well, not necessarily the case. However, do I think that there's a possibility of there being a God based on the science, based on the evidence, based on everything we know about religion and everything we know based on just shit? The possibility of there being a God for me makes no sense to me. I would probably say at the time of death for me when I'm old, maybe that 1% of that time I'll believe in God, the rest of the time I won't. Is because I know how the Big Bang was formed, right? And then started this God of the gaps theory. Well, the Big Bang, blah, blah, blah. No, God didn't create the Big Bang. We know what created the Big Bang. And in fact, which is quote unquote particle, is not really God. One of the strongest atoms. Let me explain. This is real easy to explain now since we discovered the at least 3 years ago. 3 years ago now. It's one of the strongest atoms. We know what an atom does to a neutron. Neutrons, which are molecular energy, right? And then you have neutrons, which are quadruple the size. Now, when a neutron attaches itself to a atom, or an atom attaches itself to a neutron, kablamo! Kablamo! This is what causes supernovas. Since we know what causes a supernova, the Big Bang, we know it was the kablamo and that Higgs boson particle, that strongest atom in the universe, which we can never recreate. And universe started. Now we know the universe is expanding and expanding and expanding and will continue to expand for billions of years. Dead long after you're dead, long after our grandchildren, our ancestors are dead, right? Shrink and crumble up into nothing. Now, if there was that creator God, so-called, like a lot of these extremely religious people say, creator God would try to prevent that type of Armageddon, right? He's all-powerful, all-knowing, all-caring, right? Wait a minute. If he's so all-powerful, then why didn't the universe from expanding and keep it at a lengthy distance where it won't collapse in? Right? Well, wait. You really know you're an atheist when not only don't you believe anymore, but the possibility of there ever being a God, even if you label yourself as agnostic atheist, really slim to none. And look, do I doubt the possibility? No. And I'm saying that from a completely scientific standpoint. What if 50 years down the road, or some Russian or some Chinese or some Japanese or some scientist group space, and they send a satellite up there and they find, well, there's this molecular force creation of the universe, well, then there would be solid proof of there being a God, right? Denounce the possibility, because with science we could still find this shit out. However, are we there yet? I'm not convinced. And if you are not convinced, you can officially call yourself an atheist. That's when you really know you're an atheist, when you're not convinced. If someone tells you God or just pray to whoever, right? Your troubles will go away. I'm not convinced. Then you know you're an atheist. You're an atheist if you're watching this, right? Or if you clicked on it, right? And you really want to know if you're an atheist, and if you think you didn't convince me that there's a God, or you convince me that I'm completely personally about what I think about the existence of there being a being, or this confirms what I've thought for a long time now, congratulations, you may just be an atheist. I may not even know it. To quote Penn here, and I gotta paraphrase this from his book, Every Day is an Atheist Holiday. There's a parable page to the chapter 1 where he says, you to murder your child to show love for God. If you say no, my book. If you say yes, please consider. Please reconsider. Last word. But yeah, I kind of agree with that parable. If someone told you you have to kill your child in order to believe in God and you say no, book. I got to agree with Penn there. Because no person who really loves their child, you're already an atheist. If you are religious and you are watching this, you're already an atheist. 90% of the gods out there, except for one. Other than that, you're already an atheist to most gods. So next time you say, I'm not an atheist, you are. You're only not an atheist to the God you believe in.